Did you have an intimate relationship with him?
Like sexual?
Yeah. Megan, did you have a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez? Yes, that's my question.
I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory.
And then the rest of the prosecution's case is based on all these calls and texts where Tory's like, oh, I'm so sorry, oh, I'm so drunk. He never says that I shot him. He's like, oh, I'm just so sorry, I'm so drunk. So question what he's apologizing for. So that's the prosecution's case. Seems pretty easy. Then the defense comes up, and man, it gets spicy. First, the defense goes, they're not telling you about half of what's going on. The most important thing they're not telling you about an eyewitness who saw two women fighting, Kelsey and Meg. And so let's talk about why them two are fighting. Let's talk about how she was in the front seat. The gun was caught in the front seat. Let's talk about how she might have gunpowder. She does have gunpowder. Let's talk about how this has nothing to do with the fight between Tory and Meg and everything to do with the fight between Meg and Kelsey. And then the defense starts dropping the bombs. He basically says this, that they're in the car. Yeah, they left. But do you know why they left? They left because Kylie and Tory were in the pool together. And Kelsey and Meg both felt some type of way about that, to the point that Meg felt really some type of way about that. And she was really trying to go, to the point that eventually, because of how Meg is acting, this is according to the defense, Kylie Jenner goes to Meg Thee Stallion and says, it's time for you to leave. They all leave. The defense's point is what happens in the car is this. Tory questions Kelsey, hey Kelsey, why are you backing up Meg for me trying to, get it on with Kylie Jenner? Meg has been snaking men from you your whole life. I hooked up with you, Kelsey, and then Meg went behind your back and hooked up with me. And Kelsey, this is not the first time. You had been hooking up with Ben Simmons. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with Ben Simmons. You had been hooking up with the baby. Meg went behind your back and hooked up with the baby. And so the defense starts dropping all these grenades. The crowd is captivated. The jury's like, oh, what's going on? And there's every reason to believe that there could have been a fight here, not between Tory and Meg, but between Meg and Kelsey. And the shooting could have not been Tory. It could have been done by any one of the other people in that car.
After a lot of self-reflection on that incident, I've realized that violence against women is not always connected to being in a relationship. Instead, it happens because too many men treat all women as objects, which helps them to justify inflicting abuse against us when we choose to exercise our own free will. Since the shooting, Megan said she has vowed to speak up for women like herself. Like the time she used her Saturday Night Live performance to call out Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron over his handling of the Breonna Taylor case. Quote, I'm not afraid of criticism. We live in a country where we have the freedom to criticize elected officials, and it's ridiculous that some people think the simple phrase, protect black women, is controversial. We deserve to be protected as human beings, and we are entitled to our anger about a laundry list of mistreatment and neglect that we suffer.
What's good, YouTube? This is KB Flair. You can call me KB. Welcome back to another video, man. We got Megan Thee Stallion, we got Tory Lanez. But before we get into this, man, do me a huge favor, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me a subscribe. So, man, while I was on this vacation, man, I've been keeping up with this Tory Lanez and this Megan Thee Stallion trial, man. And beforehand, before any of this, I never talked about it because I can't defend somebody, man, who popped a chick. Or anybody at that for no good reason, right? But as the 2 years went on, more and more information came out that he wasn't behind it. They were suggesting that it was the friend Kelsey that did the shooting. And you know what? Hey, still a lot of your black women wasn't trying to hear that. A lot of your black women, oh man, forget that. Who cares? Nah, Tory Lanez still a diss. Nobody protects black women. I mean, because to be honest with you, that Breonna Taylor in that situation, that's where people, black men don't protect black women. That's where all that stuff stemmed from. So of course, man, Tory Lanez had to eat that for 2 years. And I think another reason he couldn't even really talk much about it was because legal issues. Generally a woman can sit up here and accuse you of something. She could talk about it all day. But the man, he can't talk, he can't say nothing. And he probably sitting over here like, man, I didn't do jack squat, but I can't defend myself. I can't say anything because, hey, you leave it up to the system. A lot of you women are going to get it their way. Fine, right? But once again, if y'all understand law or whatever, that's how it is with just man and woman. But you're going to mainly see it from your women, because a lot of you women love to accuse men of some shit that they didn't do. as you can see here, right? So, and you know, that's an opinion. And you know, I even after the DNA experts said that Tory Lanez DNA was not on the gun, I believe that he didn't do it. You know, for probably like the past year, I feel like he didn't do it. But you know, hey, you can't jump the gun on a lot of things. But here's the thing, right? So you got people on TikTok sitting over here saying, well, you know what, hey, just because his DNA wasn't on the gun doesn't mean he wasn't the one that was doing the shooting. Doesn't mean, you know, I'm sitting on here like, dang, like, he just can't win, right? So for 2 years, we accused this man of something that he probably didn't do. Now, they're trying to pin a gun. People, listen, there's only one gun that's a part of this case, and they're trying to pin that gun on him, right? Now, in order for me to, you know, pop anybody with a gun, I would have to have a gun in my possession, right? Right? Okay. And I doubt that he was wearing any gloves. I doubt he was trying to pull a James St. Patrick, putting on some gloves, putting on a gun, and going out on a mission. No. Right? So, from my understanding, from what everybody and their mama can freaking go look at and go see and go research or whatever, Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, and Kelsey. Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey, best friends. Tory was smashing both of them. Went to Kylie Jenner's house. Megan Thee Stallion invited Tory Lanez. Mind you, at this time, Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey did not know that I take that back. Kelsey did not know Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez was messing around. So fast forward, they get in a big argument. And then Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey, when the news first broke, Megan Thee Stallion and Kelsey said, hey, Tory. Later on down the road, we start to see that it wasn't Tory and that it was Kelsey that was behind it. Because she got drugged out the car and got whooped bad by Megan Thee Stallion, right? So, you know, then again, if you think about it, I would think that would drive anybody mad to sit over here and say, okay, let me go ahead and get this dang gun because I'm about to go ahead and put one in their ass, right? Anybody who's getting embarrassed like that, right? So, you know, fast forward, they sat up here and said that after Megan Thee Stallion got done whooping down on this girl, I guess there was a gun in the front seat. The security guard's gun, I believe. Kelsey went over there, grabbed it, went over there and popped Megan Thee Stallion in the back, right? And this is where all these lies start to come in. This is where it starts to get confusing because Megan Thee Stallion said she saw somebody leaning out the window and shot at her, but then turned around and says, well, my back was turned. So it's just like, okay, so did you see the person or did you not see the person? Right? So then you also, you know, you hearing about Megan Thee Stallion saying, well, hey, Tory Lanez did this, Tory Lanez did that. But then once again, it all comes out to say that Kelsey was behind everything. And Tory Lanez was trying to get the gun out of Kelsey's hand, right? Because you even have witnesses saying that they see a man, I think they saw two men trying to grab something from a girl or something like that, right? So, I mean, y'all do what y'all want to do with that information. But right now, it's painting the picture that Tory Lanez was behind it and Kelsey was behind the shooting, right? But once again, right, Megan Thee Stallion sat here and lied and sat here and said, well, you know what, hey, I didn't see the person, now I did see, or I saw the person, now I didn't see the person. You know, and it's just like, man, god dang, sis, what do we got going on here, man? What do we got going on here? So, you know, now we got trial. Kelsey sitting over here saying that Tory Lanez wasn't behind it. And here's my opinion. I feel like now Kelsey's behind it. I feel like Kelsey's behind the shooting and everything. But what I'm thinking now, right, because a lot of people are saying, well, they admitted, you know, earlier on that, you know, Tory Lanez was behind all of it. I feel like, you know, now, of course, at that time, Kelsey was upset that Megan did what she did, but was more upset with Tory Lanez. So, hey, we're going to try to get the black man up out of here, right? Fine, right? Because he wasn't wrong, but I don't think he deserves any of the shit that he's going through. Now, she's sitting over here saying that she didn't know who did what. She didn't see anything. I feel like, you know, maybe she kind of came to her senses and saying, you know what, let me just go ahead and try to save myself now. Right? We're going to keep Tory out of here because there's a lot of evidence that suggests that Tory Lanez was not a part of it. Let me try to save my ass now. So, and I feel like that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to save her ass because from what it's looking like, sis, Kelsey, you was behind it. You was behind it. You might need to eat it. So, You know, and the fact that this brother was going through all of this, and Tory Lanez ain't perfect, but this brother was going through all of this. She tried to sit up here and pin whatever's on her and try to pin it on Tory. You know, so now it's like, it's almost as if she's trying to cover her own ass. Understandable, right? Now, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? The whole time Megan Thee Stallion, she knew it. Let's just be real. Megan Thee Stallion knew who did what. Megan Thee Stallion knew who did what. But sit up here and say, well, you know what? My back was turned, but then you also saw the shooter. It don't make no sense. Then you sat up here and said, well, you know what? Hey, I didn't want to sit over here and tell the cops that a black man shot me because the cops were going to shoot a black man, you know, and the George Floyd thing was going on. Like, you sitting over here like, what? So you sat up here, you went back into the same car with the man that shot you. But you weren't scared of him, though. You weren't scared of the man that popped you. You were scared of the cops. So you didn't want to tell the cops that he shot you. You didn't want to do none of that. That makes absolutely no sense, right? But once again, this is what black women call a queen. This is one of your leaders of your modern day black women. Well, you know what? Hey, let's just lie. Let's just make up stories, you know, and let's try to throw a black man on the bus. And see, the sad thing about it is, once again, right? We see that she lied about, you know, hey, well, you know, I didn't see the guy, but then I did see the shooter. Well, you know what? Hey, you know, I went back into the car with my shooter because I was afraid the cops were going to shoot the black shooter, the black male shooter. That makes no sense. It just really doesn't make no sense. And for the longest, she has been putting up this front. For the longest, she has been putting up this front. So much so that we even have some of the receipts of the stuff that she said. Look, right? And I remember this tweet where Tory Lanez and her was going back and forth in a sense. She was saying, lie one more time and I'm going to quit sparing you. Well, sis, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Kessie or are you talking about yourself? Because you can't be talking about Tory Lanez because he really can't say much, right? He really couldn't say much. He really couldn't say much. So who are you talking about? This is back in July. She says, July 2020, to be exact. Y'all got the dates on here, right? You know, I'm just reading it as I saved it. I'm just reading it, right? It says, black women are so unprotected and we hold so many things in to protect the feelings of others without considering our own. It might be funny to y'all on the internet and just another messy topic for you to talk about, but this is my real life and I'm real life hurt and traumatized. Are you really traumatized? I mean, if I was traumatized, I tell you right now, I'm not going to call back to the same person, man, that did something bad to me. Let's just be real. So then she says, dumb B word, that ish ain't effing funny. Who the F jokes about getting shot by a jigger? And then she also says, and F all the OA Negros making jokes about it too. I'll talk about ish when I'm ready. But I mean, you've been talking about it. So then she says, November 4, 2022, stop using my shooting for clout, B word, A word, nickel. Since when the F was it cool to joke about women getting shot? You niggas, especially rap Negroes, are lame. Ready to boycott about some shoes and clothes, but dogpile on a black woman when she say one of y'all homeboys abused her. So then she also says, and when the mother effing facts come out, remember all y'all whole ass favorite rappers that stood behind a nigga that shot a female. And this is like, okay, hey, for the longest she has been pushing Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez, Tory Lanez. And the stuff that she was saying about Tory Lanez on the Gayle King interview and all these other interviews and all this stuff, she's been promoting that it was Tory Lanez's fault. She's been promoting, hey, well, black women aren't protected. Come to find out, well, from what it's looking like, she's out here pushing that black men don't protect black women. Black women have it hard. Black women this, black women that. Come to find out, it was a black woman that shot a black woman. But yet it was still pushed that a black man did it. And I'm not here to sit over here and try to make it's a black woman versus a black man thing. It's not. It's not. However, you have a black woman sitting up here saying, well, you know what? Black men don't protect black women. Yet, and the crazy thing is, you look at the Shade Room, you have 14 million followers on the Shade Room, right? You have 14 million followers. Out of that 14 million followers, you probably got like 9 million are black women. A lot of your black women were following behind her, which is why I said, this is what your black culture calls a queen. right? DJ Academics has said this story for the longest. He has been talking about this story for the longest. But for some reason, so many people dislike this man. Mainly your women, mainly your black women dislike this man because I guess he states a lot of facts. And yes, is he perfect? No, he's not perfect. He's not perfect. But the thing is, man, he has been right way more than he has been wrong. But once again, right? You have a black man who states facts and try to hold women accountable, right? And I don't sit over here and say DJ Academics hold women accountable. However, he keeps it real. A lot of people dislike that, right? And the crazy thing is, he had literally said this whole story, right? He been saying this shit for a month, just for the same story to come out in court. Now, and yet people still sit up here and say DJ Academics don't know what you're talking about. DJ Academics just want to hit on black women. That's not the case. That's not the case. And like I said, it's not a black woman versus a black man thing. It's just a common sense thing. For 2 years, black women have sat over here and made this narrative that black men do not protect black women. Yet once again, it was a black woman that popped a black woman. But yet at the same time, this black woman still sat up here on stage and said black men don't protect black women. Yet there's black women that sit on her protecting somebody that probably shot her, and it was a black woman. But yet once again, like I said, we're going to keep trying to throw dirt on Tory Lanez because guess what? He punches people and he does all off the wall stuff. People, if we want to be technical, it's black women not trying to protect black men. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. But a lot of your women, a lot of your sisters feel like, you know what, hey, because we got cheaters, we got damn shitty ass men in this world that we constantly keep dating, we're going to sit over here and try to say that's all black men. And we're going to try to push the narrative that all black men don't protect black women. When that's not the case. Black men most definitely protect black women. Most definitely. And I'm telling you right now, some of your black men want Tory Lanez in jail. Some of your black men want Tory Lanez in jail because they still feel that he was behind it. But I mean, it's just like, there's still some more information to come out, but it's like, what more do you need at this point? What more do you need? But hey, according to everybody else, we need some more. So hey, we're gonna go ahead and get some more, right? My only thing is, a lot of your black women kind of sort of owe Tory Lanez an apology. Well, you know what? Hey, well, now we don't owe that nigga no apology. We don't owe that nigga no apology because just because his gun prints wasn't on the thing, or just because his fingerprints wasn't on the gun doesn't mean he didn't do it. Okay, fine. Well, you know what? Hey, forget what the DNA experts say. You know what I'm saying? It's still a possibility because it seems like that's what people are living off of now. Instead of facts, people only live off of possibilities and what it could be instead of what it is and what facts are being presented. So, you know, man, that's my whole take about this, man. Sisters, y'all gotta stop trying to push the narrative that black men don't protect black women. Black men protect black women. Black men protect black women. It's just that the thing is, man, a lot of your sisters, man, just have a distaste for black men. And a lot of your sisters, man, want to have a narrative to push. Because, you know, of course, Kevin Samuels started to bring some light to the red pill content. Now, we have a lot of women sitting on here saying, okay, well, we need to start pushing narratives, right? They're able to push facts, but we don't have any facts. Let's start pushing some feelings, right? And this is where you have, I forgot the sister's name that, I think her name is Malika Andrews, an anti-black male advocate or something like that. I mean, you just have far too many sisters, man, modern day women that pick the bad men, that choose the wrong men, and then sit up here and say, well, hey, you know what? Because this man didn't do what I expected him to do, all men ain't ish, and nobody protects black women. And it's like, man, look, that is just it's a narrative, man, that sisters push to try to make it even. They try to make it even, and it's like it's sad because it's black women are only having a war with black men. Black men aren't having a war with black women. We just want to see black women succeed. We just want to see black women win, right? But constructive criticism has to come with it. Constructive criticism have to come with it. Period. So y'all do me a huge favor, man. Leave me a like, leave me a comment, and leave me a subscribe.